You're listening to the Cambridge Insider Podcast. In this week's episode, hosts Mariah and Stephen give a recap of this past school year, a market update, and tips for summer planning. This episode is sponsored by Crossroads College Preparatory School. Crossroads has earned a reputation for the success of its students in receiving outstanding offers of merit-based scholarships to attend the finest colleges and universities in the country. Thanks for listening.
Cambridge Insider Podcast time. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Cambridge Insider Podcast, the final episode of Season 3. To all of our listeners, thank you for joining us through this fantastic season of podcasts. We appreciate all your interaction. We appreciate all your questions, all your comments as well. If you aren't doing so already, remember to like, listen, and subscribe to the Cambridge Insider Podcast. My co-host through this entire season, Mariah Thompson. How are things in your part of the world?
They're very hot. It's Texas. It's getting into the summertime. I guess tomorrow is the first day of summer, right? Or it's June 21st, right? Around this time is the first day of summer.
It's hot. It's hot.
But it's already felt it. But someone the other day was like, you don't even know. Just wait until August. And I'm like, okay. So I am in the pool all the time, which is nice. But I'm really loving it. So I'm doing good. I cannot believe it's the end of season 3 and it's been a whole year of just us. So
that's it. We've done well. You've tolerated me, which is the most impressive thing.
It's been fun.
Exactly. I think this is an opportune time to give a shout out to all of our schools, all of our school partners, all of our teachers who've worked incredibly hard through this year. From all the feedback we've been getting, it's just been a hugely successful year on the school partner side of things. Our college partners in addition as well, as they start to wrap up. It's just been hugely successful. And it's incredible to think that we're coming to the end of the school year. Many of the schools are going through graduation or have gone through graduation, and then we'll be shutting school for the summer for a very well-deserved break. So to all of our teachers, all of the administrators, all of our school partners, enjoy the time off. You thoroughly deserve it.
Yes. So, Stephen, since it is the end of the school year, can you give us a little recap of the year, any info that is good to highlight or for us to know about what this school year looked like?
Absolutely. I think from a recruitment side, right, it's important for us to remember that although the school year in terms of, active school and education has come to an end or is coming to an end, the recruitment season still is still very much open. We'll see a slowdown of that as we go from sort of June into July, but we've seen active seasons, in the past run through June, through July. Our sort of suggestion, and we strongly suggest this to all of our school partners, if it's possible to run a rolling admission season and to keep your admissions open through the summer, do that. It won't necessarily mean that you're picking up 10 students, but it could mean 1 or 2 applicants, which could make a huge difference, not just in terms of enrolling those applicants, hopefully, but also just in terms of agency relationships and branding yourself as a school that's willing to take students a little bit later and just sort of differentiating yourself, right? So the enrollment season, although we'll see a little slowdown, certainly is still open for at least another month, if not sometimes in through to August. So that's important to know. It's been a good year. I think from a recruitment standpoint, some of the things that we want to highlight, right, is there's been that rebound. We saw this in the previous year coming off COVID, that we saw a rebound in the market, and that was great. And we predicted last year that we would continue to see that rebound, and we certainly have. I think the data is that we've seen an 80% increase from 22 to 23 in the number of students coming into the country. And that's just a generalized number, but that's most certainly another step in the right direction. And certainly should be noteworthy to schools to say, okay, students are coming back. Students will want to come to the US, both at the college level, of course, which is slightly more prominent, but at the high school level more and more so. I think something else that's important to notice, and this is some of the research that we've done of late, is that That sort of first round of information coming through specifically from China, about students that have attended international schools in China and that have now graduated, has been slightly disappointing. What I mean by that is those students that have graduated international schools in the mainland in China have not necessarily achieved the results that they wanted to and have not necessarily gotten into the colleges that they wanted to. Again, what that means for our school partners here in the US is that should be giving a little bit more momentum. In addition to the 80% increase in the number of students, I think more and more students, more and more families, more and more agencies are going to be going, maybe the international schools are not the best option for me. If I want to get into a great college, if I want to really, expand my horizons, maybe going to the US for high school is the number one priority. And we've seen that the increase in the number of international schools has certainly deterred some of our recruitment statistics in the US for our US partners. So we believe firmly that, that in addition to the increase in the number of students will certainly give added momentum, in the next 12 months. And both of those, I think, are good news for the recruitment side of things for our US partners.
Yeah. So in your response about the recap, you started to talk about the market a little bit. Is there anything additional about the market at its current status that you wanted to touch on?
Sure. No, not necessarily. I think, I think where the market is right now is that, again, we've seen that rebound and we'll continue to see that rebound. And certainly schools need to be poised for that market as it continues to rebound. Typically through, July, August, September, those summer months, those vacation months, we see a lot of planning at the high level for, for schools and for administrations. Mm-hmm. This is a great time to look at that data, to look at that information and say, hey, we've seen a great rebound. We're seeing this momentum carry out. What are we planning to do? What are our goals on the international side? How is that correlated to what has happened on the domestic side? We've seen so many school partners come out of COVID and the years following that, and domestic enrollment has been, maybe not as good as they would have hoped. And how do we bring the international component to that, to add into some of those numbers, to meet those budget requirements, both at the college and the high school level? So that's really important. And schools really need to be thinking right now, what should I be doing in these summer months if I want to meet my goal of total enrollment, but international enrollment as well? And we can chat a little bit about that, but I want to set that scene really, really clearly for our partners listening.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask. What are some practical things schools should be doing right now with the information and then the timing of getting the school year ready for next year? Absolutely.
So it's all about setting those goals. It's all about looking at where you are right now, thinking about how many students you have. What is your enrollment data said for the past, couple of years, couple of seasons coming out of COVID? We've fully recovered from COVID. How has your enrollment trended in the past couple of years? And what is your goal for your enrollment in the coming months? If your goal is to maintain or increase a fairly robust number of international students, you certainly need to be thinking digital. That's just where the market is. We send out numerous communications to school partners. We have conversations on a daily basis with potential school partners about how do we recruit better? How do we make sure that families and students are aware of our program and come and enroll in our program? You need to be thinking digitally. The traditional model of recruitment, which is face-to-face networking interaction with families and agency partners, although it's still there, it's limited, right? You've got to be thinking, how do I make use of the digital landscape to brand my school, to make students and families aware of my program, and ultimately to have them apply and enroll in my program. At Cambridge, at Cambridge Network, we have our Cambridge Enhanced Marketing Initiative. We have our Global College Connect initiative for colleges. Both of those are digital marketing initiatives that are there to brand school programs and ultimately for schools to be able to attract international students that apply and ultimately enroll. If you want to find out more about that, absolutely, we're more than willing to share. Feel free to drop us a note. But importantly, just remember, as you go into the next couple of months, as you start to plan, as you speak to board members, as you speak to a director of admissions, your international program director, your head of school and your president, you come together to brainstorm. You've got to be thinking, what can we do digitally? because that is where the market lies. Again, I'll say this as a final sort of conclusion to that question. If you want to maintain a program or if you want to build a program, you have to be involved in the digital landscape. And we can certainly, provide you with answers if you are interested.
Yeah, I think it's important to say too that because we still do believe in the traditional sense of marketing. We'll talk about this more, but we still do have our ICO, and this year we're relaunching our headmasters trips to China and then potentially Vietnam and Korea as well. We'll get more finalized logistics later on. But the thing about with digital marketing is that it helps you have marketing efforts 365 all year round. There isn't just at the trip. And honestly, you'll end up spending almost the equal amount for the one trip than you would for the full year of digital marketing. So it's almost like a no-brainer that of course, traditional marketing is great, but it's just for that one and done type of moment where having your platform allows you to look at it all year round, because your students are looking all year round. They're checking out where they might go. This is a big decisions for families. So it's not just a one event thing now, especially because everyone else is digital too. So they're getting the information. So it's just that thing that we think is really important for you to stick out, for you to be consistently known, because it's just reality. Other people are doing it too. So.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And I do want to speak to what you mentioned there, right? So Cambridge during the summer, number one, we're going back to Asia and Southeast Asia, China, Vietnam, and Korea, which is hugely exciting. Our teams have been working and prepping really hard. We will be doing our in-country orientation, our ICO in person. We're sending a team from the US for all of our new incoming students. And it's a great opportunity for us to be able to give orientation, to be able to explain to families and students what they should expect and really make sure that they're prepared. Because when they're prepared, guess what? They're going to come to school, they're going to be successful, and they're going to go back home and say that was the greatest experience of their life. And that's ultimately what we want to achieve. So we're excited that in the next month or so, we'll be sending a team out there. I believe it'll be early July or end of June through mid-July that we'll be running that. And then in even more exciting news, we are bringing back, as Mariah rightfully mentioned, our headmaster trips, or our in-person recruitment trips, where we send school partners to attend events, to network, to speak with agencies, families, and students in person in China, in Vietnam, and in Korea. Mm-hmm. Those are reserved at this stage for our Cambridge Enhanced Marketing partners. You might ask why. The reason is fairly simple. With the shift in how the market works, and that there's a big part of this market share that is now digital, when we send schools, we want to make sure that those schools are well represented and well branded 365 days. And the only way we can achieve that is through Cambridge Enhanced Marketing, right? If we build that brand through our marketing channels, through our digital marketing channels, site engine optimization, social media, global live online events, by the time we send a school abroad, everybody knows who they are. We don't have to spend days and days introducing this partner. Agents, family, students are going, oh, this is this school. I've seen you guys on social media. This is awesome. I can't wait to chat to you. Yeah. So again, if you're interested in that, certainly connect with us, see how we can potentially bring you on as a Cambridge Enhanced Marketing partner and how you can get involved in some of those trips. The final thing that I will say about the trips, because I've been very outspoken about, the market has shifted and the traditional model, is maybe not as popular or as strong as it once was. And Mariah rightfully said, it is still very much there, that traditional model. And what we believe at Cambridge is that if we build a great foundation through CEM, through Cambridge Enhanced Marketing, being there in person is going to add that additional, boost to your recruitment efforts and certainly your branding efforts abroad. So feel free. I know there's a lot of information that we've just given you, and most of you are hoping to kick off for the summer vacation, but feel free to drop us a question if you have any about what we just spoke about.
Yes. Well, that's it for me. I think that we covered what this year looks like, what the summer will look like for you. And like Stephen said, we're here. We're here for you. And we're also thinking. We're thinking through. We're never settling. We want to make sure our partners are moving forward in the best efforts, keeping up with the digital trends and marketing trends so we can have the best results.
Absolutely. And, we've certainly seen those these past 12 months. So I think we gave a shout out to all of our teachers and all of our administrators and school partners. I think maybe as we end this episode, just to say to all of our Cambridge Network team as well for a great 12 months, just of incredibly hard work. It doesn't end for us. We are, office bound for the next couple of months as we strategize and hope to hit the fall running. But we're excited. And Mariah, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure. I thank you for sticking it out with me for 12 months. Long may it continue.
Of course.
Awesome. To all of our listeners, we appreciate you. Have a wonderful summer. Feel free to drop us a question or any comments. And we'll catch you for season 4. More details to follow. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Cambridge Insider Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode. For more Cambridge updates, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Have a great week and stay connected.